Alright, we're back, I think. I'm almost done eating, and then we'll continue Shadows of Almia. And that was the moment where I realized, wait, but there's text before this fight, so I can just text mash during this. Yeah, exactly. And this time around, we're already quite far into the game. Okay, time for one of the tougher bosses of the game right away. This is why I wanted to warm up before we started with this game. Which is a big reason for me doing Fire Red in the first place. That did almost nothing for me. Yeah, this fight we're just gonna have to approach somewhat slow. Crap. Got him. Can I explain the numbers in breaks used section? Yes. So, for every 6 hours I've played, I'm allowed a 5-hour break, and for every 72 hours I've played, I'm allowed one 24-hour break. I can use them in advance, but as long as at the end of the day they end up working out. So, you know, I can use those to use for sleep, or, you know, the first 24-hour break I used because I had to do something for work, you know, stuff like that. I can stack breaks, so I can use 2 5-hour breaks back to back for a 10-hour break. That is fine. But as long as a break is started, or as soon as a break is started, it counts no matter how much of the actual time you use. So, I've so far, over the past 121 hours, used one 24-hour break, like I said, for work, and 8 5-hour breaks, which actually was more so 4 10-hour breaks for sleep. I hope that kind of explains what the breaks were about there. And why they are the numbers they are. Alright, Haruba Desert, or Haruba Village. So yeah, all the hippopotas here are being manipulated to cause this sandstorm. Let's do something about that. Alright, we're gonna walk up this part first so we can cut a vine. No. Chatot. Not Staraptor. Chatot. And now we get back on Doduo. Okay, this part's always incredibly rough. Okay, I'm gonna possibly quickly... Yeah, I'm gonna quickly get off and quickly save. Because we can absolutely get destroyed here. And just die. And get sent back to just before Gliscor. That would be very sad. Okay. Found the Hippowdon at least. Okay, well, we lost half of our health to Hippowdon, but we got Hippowdon. I guess that's something. We also want this Staraptor. Actually need to check something before we move on. Okay, that's not for a while. I knew that at some point we were supposed to get a Cacturn, but I think that's in Ultru Tower. So I know they're otherwise in this area as well. We need 2 golems. One golem. I believe the next new Pokemon for us is going to be Cresselia, which is at the end of this place. Yes, Bob here. This is, it is that moment where we have to do this place. Welcome to Hippo Temple. Alright. Good, good. Didn't get screwed over badly there. Okay. Oh, right. There's a Sandshrew somewhere, isn't there? Or was it this one that I... Or Sand Slash, that works too. Yeah, we were supposed to still have a Sandshrew for that, but I lost that a while ago. Or rather, I don't think I ever recruited the one that I would have needed. Which is okay, because there was a Sand Slash right there. And what would a Ranger game be without this arrow puzzle, right? Upper right. Upper right. That one. Yeah, that fall is huge. I don't think you would normally survive that, but all right. Okay, Time for the Cresselia fight. I'm gonna go full focus mode once this fight has started. This is a difficult fight. I mean, this fight can be really doable if you are fast, but it's harder even than Heatran. Okay, here we go. Okay, from here on, this fight just became a lot harder. Got it. Without a scratch on me. Well, without a scratch I didn't already have, at least. Solid fight. That was really good. Yeah, except for like a tiny mistake towards the end, that was a really, really well executed fight. Which now means Cresselia is done. We're immediately going to go into another boss, though. We're not done yet. We're not in the clear until we've beaten the next fight. Which is Magna Zone. Which is a little easier than Cresselia. But can still be tough. It was not Skip, no. We didn't finish this yesterday. I didn't have enough time. We're quite far into the game. Like, we've got the headquarters raid and then we can go into the final dungeon. So we have maybe like an hour and a half left or something. But we do need to finish this game still. Yeah, the reason I didn't want to do Ranger immediately is because, especially this late in the game, is really hard if your fingers are cold. Or a little stiff. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I decided to do Fire Red first and do this one second. Or rather, do finishing this one second. Okay, here comes Magna Zone. Back to full focus. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Got him. Whew, okay. Okay, time to get back to Ranger headquarters. This place is done. Okay, a little bit of tech smashing and then we should get into the headquarter raid. Yeah, the raid is, or shouldn't be as hard as what we've done so far. Like, generally, the raid is it's kind of a boss rush, but at the same time, it feels sometimes as if it's a little bit of a break from the fights we did earlier. That said, it is going to be like 3 more fights that we need to do. After which, we will rank up to rank 9 and we can go to Ultra Tower. Good morning, Pierce. Hello, hello. How are you today? And thank you. Yeah, at the top of Ultra Tower, there's going to be one more legendary that we need to get. Darkrai. Monday evening for you already, I see. Well, good evening in that case. Quick safety save so that we've secured Cresselia and being done with Hippo Temple and... Because it's another side quest day that we need to go through first, which is fairly quick to be honest. Because again, we just need to leave and we can immediately re-enter. All right. Bunch of talking here. This is just a lot of mashing, but we'll get through it. I believe we just try and leave, and we end up getting to Heath first. I mean, you gotta admit, the fact that at this point Team Dim Sun is bold enough to raid the Ranger headquarters means that they've been a problem for way too long, and we have not made them into a big enough problem for way too long. There we go. Very clean fight. Alright, time for the Garchomp fight. Okay, this is a really bad start to the fight. This is actually a really bad fight so far. Yeah, that's a little better at least. Yeah, no, not a great fight, but... Okay, we'll go around you. Okay, one more fight left before we can head to Ultra Tower. It's against totally not evil, creepy green hair dude. I don't know why everyone here is worried about the Bidoofs, by the way. Bidoofs literally roam the hallway of the ranger school. Like, everyone that works here should be capable of capturing Bidoof. Like, without exception. They just should. Literally the first thing you get to do when you're... Or, okay, no, not first. Second thing you get to do in Ranger School. I mean, I know Bidoof are really powerful Pokemon. That's why it's one of the last bosses in the game. But like I said, every ranger that is here should have had a course in how to capture Bidoof specifically. So I don't understand why they're all so stressed about it. Hey, River. Hey, Haita. How so, River? Ooh. Okay. Okay. Hold on. So, the date is next Friday, or was it 2 Fridays ago? Oh, the date is today. Oh! Okay. Okay. I retract my oof. Smack dab right on your therapy. Ah, okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that your therapy could get rescheduled. I can imagine that being a little awkward, though. Oh no. Yeah, and I mean, I imagine that if you tell your boss that, because this is, probably in part due to the fact that, you had to move countries. If you tell them that you tried scheduling it during lunchtime. Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand you feeling stupid for it. Like it's an annoying schedule conflict. Yes. Yes, that is fair, River. That is very fair. Did not mean to take 14 damage on that fight, but whatever. Oh, yeah. I mean, it worked out in the end, right? Sure, this might not be the most convenient solution, but I'm sure your world will understand, especially, if they end up realizing that you purposefully scheduled the consulate meeting or visit during lunch so that it would interfere with work as little as possible. I imagine a reasonable boss would understand that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, these sort of things happen. Like I said, it'll be fine, River. Though once you do know who your boss is, you may want to mention it beforehand that you're going to be gone during that lunch because of your appointment. Just in case, it drags on longer than it should, that, you know, they know why you might be back later than supposed to be. Understandable. Very understandable. That sounds very fair, River. Well, I do wish you the best for your date coming up. So am I correct in guessing your date's at noon then? Fair enough. Alright, we got the double Dusclops. So we're in the final dungeon of this game at this point, but this is a long dungeon, so it may take, like, we need to climb all the way to the top of the tower, which is where the final boss is at. And that is a reasonably lengthy climb. Let me try to go into the right direction. I'll hope so too for you then. I'm sure it'll be okay though. Oh, well, yeah. I've been there before, where, you know, you wake up and you realize, crap, I may have made a mistake. Been there, done that. Ah well, happens to all of us. Alright, double Gengar. Like, I let's try that again. That, yeah, okay. A €10 fine. That, I think you'll be okay there. Oh yeah, these grunts they lose and they just decide to jump down an elevator shaft because that is certainly the smart thing to do. And there's at least multiple stories down, so I imagine on the top of the elevator at the bottom here, there's going to be a pile of dead bodies at this point. And judging by the number of stairs, every floor we climb up is a lot more than just a single floor. Yeah, there is very much a reason you don't pick fights in an elevator shaft. Generally not the place you want to do that. Yeah, there we got another one who just decided to jump down there. Yes, yes it is, Weech. That's why I don't think I'll be doing a Ranger 100% anytime soon. I don't think my touchpad would appreciate that very much. That is fair, Weech. DS fat, Bob. This one. Okay, I believe we need Electabuzz here as well. What are those things, out of curiosity, Bob? Excuse my ignorance here. Touch digitizer, the physical part of the screen that converts your physical touch into a digital. Oh, I see. That could be worth looking into, yeah. Oh, come on, Absol. Yeah, that could certainly be worth getting. Especially if they are not that expensive. Okay, Weech. Fair enough. So that was really bad. Well, I mean, if you don't need an appointment, if you still have a free day somewhere this week, you could try and walk in and see if you could do that. I mean, judging by how long it took me at the South African consulate when I needed to be there, this can take a while. I remember easily waiting in line for several hours there. But, generally speaking, at least in my experience, if you're there at opening time, it's not that bad. Although I imagine it can vary from consulate to consulate. Yeah, it's worth a try. I mean, worst thing that can happen is you lose a few hours and you don't get anything. Best thing that can happen is you save yourself a whole lot of trouble. Very long day today, Skip. Longest so far. That'd be very nice, yeah. Seriously? Well, I got them stunned for a little bit. I guess it's something. Not really, no. It was, at the time that I lived in South Africa, about 150 rand. Hence me converting it to... No, but I know Skip is from South Africa. Hence the conversion to South African rand. Like I said, about 150. At least I'm fairly sure Skip is from South Africa, so... Oh, okay. Probably about 10 loaves of bread. Maybe a little bit less, actually. More like 8. I didn't actually have to declare a new address because it was a temporary stay. It was a student visa. So I did have to declare the address that I moved to, or that I would, or rather that I would temporarily be staying at. But it wasn't a living address, so different rules applied, I think. And I had to give it up before I left. I don't know the exact price of a loaf of bread, but it's more than 4. Assuming you just buy relatively straightforward, like nothing too special bread from the supermarket. At which point I think it's around probably 7 to 8 breads that you can get from that. Although, admittedly, I'm not entirely sure. I always only buy half loaves because I don't eat that much bread, because I don't like bread that much. €1.50. Okay, so I wasn't too far off then. Oh wait, I need that scissor, don't I? Yeah, I need that scissor. 189. Okay. I mean, it also differs from store to store, I guess. Because it can differ quite a bit from store to store. Yeah, Amsterdam is more expensive. That is also, like, it is also a thing that the general cost of living can differ from place to place a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a difference. Yeah, like I said, I'm no expert when it comes to bread because I don't actually buy bread that often. They don't have to be sapphire. Like, prices can absolutely differ from place to place. And to be fair, like, somebody who lives in Amsterdam also generally will have more to spend than somebody who lives where I live. So prices will differ. Now, the variations usually aren't that big, don't get me wrong. I don't think you'll be paying a hugely different amount from where I live to where River lives. But it can differ a little bit, I guess. Oh yeah, I remember when we were in Cape Town, there was a similar thing going on there. When I lived in South Africa, we visited Cape Town fairly regularly. And we fairly quickly realized where not to do any shopping because you'd be just paying double the price. Like, the difference was ridiculous. I'm not saying it isn't, Skip. But, you know, doesn't take away from my point. This Alakazam sucks. We'll get him. It's gonna be a little slow. So, okay, that sounds a bit more reasonable. How long did I live in South Africa? Almost half a year. Yeah, I guess with those price indications, I guess my 8 to 10 wasn't far off then. Oh, for half loaves. Yeah, okay. Yo, Birna. Thank you for the good luck. Bye, River. Good luck. Tell me everything when you get back. I need to know. I think that's just a supermarket brand, basically, Bob. They like to sound fancy sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's just bread. That and the type of bread. We did Fire Red this morning. We started this game yesterday. But I didn't finish it yesterday. I wasn't able to. And I didn't want to do one of the hardest fights in the game while barely actually awake. So instead, I decided to do Fire Red and then come back to this. So I'd already done like 70% of this game before we started today. Yeah, we're already done with that, so no worries. We have finished Fire Red. Shiro filled his Maneb during ESA and turned out his backup Squirtle was the wrong one. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts big time. Oh, I was supposed to grab the Absol before getting in here. Oh well. Yeah, that could have been a lot worse, but that still hurts. That hurts big time. Yeah, Fire Red Manips are so finicky. Yeah, I bet it did. Come to think of it, I never got the Keknia in the end, so we're gonna have to get Keknia. We'll get Keknia, or Kricketune, I mean. We'll get that in Pearl. Anything else I missed in this game? Referee. No, everything else I got. I've run round 2. I've not done round 2 today, but I have run round 2 before. Okay, I'm gonna make a note in Pearl. Kricketune. Do I still need Dustox? No, but I do need Cascoon. I'd say just make yourself more comfortable. I mean, you probably won't get sick, especially, or at least you probably shouldn't get sick, especially considering it's decently warm out. If it's sunny, they might actually dry in the sun still. Still, I'm always a big fan of comfort. Sending lots of virtual hugs to you, River. I know it's not exactly a real hug. I can't do that right now, but... Also true, yeah. Getting the cold from just temperature is not a thing. The only thing the cold may do is lower your immune system a bit, making you more susceptible to catching, or to actually having a breakout of the disease. Well, we did a game in between playing this game yesterday and playing it now, but yes, I am still playing. Also, yes, please keep chat PG-13. Or PG even. Bye, River. Good luck on your date. Yo, Cold Stir with the host. Thank you, thank you. How are you doing today, Cold Stir? All good, Bob. All good. Alright, we're almost at the last bit. We got Cacturne, and so the only Pokemon I still need to capture here that I don't already have is Darkrai, I believe. But this fight kind of sucks. Glad to hear, Coldster. Glad to hear. I'm doing alright. All of the long side games are almost done now, so... That's always nice. And then after this, like after this we're doing Park and then Sword, and then we'll mostly be done with catching. So from there on it's just kind of cleaning up. No, please don't. Because chat's English only. I don't know what you would be saying. For all I know, you'd be saying something incredibly gross. Damn, this is the last time I'm saying it. Please don't. I don't care. It's not the point. No is no. It's very simple. I haven't had banana bread very often, so can't really judge. I'll have to admit. I've had it like once or twice, but that's been a long time ago. That's just because I don't like you so far. You're pushing a point that shouldn't be pushed. Yeah, we're good, Coldster. We've got this. I know you're just trying to help, so no worries. It really is, Birna. Although, to be fair, at least climate-wise, the past few summers have all been very weird. At least they have been around here. That's climate change for you. I don't get how some people are still calling it fake. And it's really sad, honestly. Because we need big, decisive action on it. I mean, our summer so far has not been very warm, but it's been incredibly wet. Like, there's a reason, like, North America, while North America's on fire, we were dealing with floods. So, shattering, by the way, the record of, like, in the news they had how much water was going through the river here, shattering the record from like 30 years ago. It's mostly subsided, yeah. I haven't seen the water levels recently, so because series race. But when I drove past it last Friday, yeah, I think Friday was the last time I saw it. It was subsiding quite a bit. It had dropped to somewhat normal levels again. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a reason we need big, decisive action when it comes to climate change. Articuno is higher up on the tracker. We haven't caught it yet. That'll be in not the next game, but the one after that. So we'll probably catch Articuno. It won't be immediately. So we need quite a bit of progress in the game. So it'll probably either be tonight or tomorrow morning-ish. Okay, good to know. For reference, for the people that don't know, Coldster is a real-life friend of mine. So, he would know. He lives not very far away from me. Southern Europe also on fire? Yeah, I hadn't caught about that as much, I guess, but... Well, like I said, it'll either be later tonight or tomorrow. I'm not really sure exactly when. I can try to remember to ping you when it happens, but no promises that I'll succeed. That's fair, Coldster, fair. Yeah, time will tell, but... True, all of these runs are going to be on YouTube, so... That is also a thing. Or at least I'm planning to put all of them on YouTube. The first one's uploaded but still privated. I'm going to try to schedule that in for tomorrow. Yikes. Shiki. Yikes. Yeah, both the extreme heat and the extreme rain and just all kinds of extreme weather has been getting more and more extreme. And that's only going to continue. I hate to have to say it, but that's only going to get worse. And until we and politicians realize that we need to do something about this sooner rather than later. Like, preferably, we would have done something about that like 40 years ago, and we could have had a fairly smooth and easy transition. But, you know. Oh, I mean, we're definitely still doing a very big part of it. Europe is absolutely partially to blame. So here in Europe, we absolutely do need to work on that just as much. Like, this isn't a us versus them kind of thing either. It's either we all do something or we're all screwed. And it's true, we can't solve it alone. That's why it's a case of, like I said, we either all do it or we're all screwed. There is no real in-between there. I mean, arguably the biggest issue right now is with Brazil, I imagine. With, you know, the Amazon. Because that used to be a huge sink for CO2, which it just isn't anymore. So those upcoming elections are going to be hugely important. Like, if Bolsonaro wins again, our chances are not great. Oh yeah, I get that, Weech. I've been there many a time. Oh, I agree there, Bob. I mean, as individuals, we just need to keep doing as much as we can and keep pushing people in charge to take more action. Like, that's just a thing we as a collective need to do. Like, I'm not saying that this isn't something we shouldn't be worried about. I do believe that if we collectively do take action, we've got a very serious chance of just making our way through this issue. It is absolutely still possible. But that will require everyone. No doubt about it. I mean, it's not going to be easy, and it will definitely get worse before it gets better. And we're definitely not going to get into a position where we were 50 years ago. But I'm also not the one to say that, you know, that there are still paths we can take. Ways that we can get to a point at least where it's not getting worse anymore. But it will take a lot of work and effort and money. We can still avoid the worst things. Will there be bad things? Yes. Yeah, we're not doing terribly. We still need to do more though. But, you know, one step at a time. But yes, the worst scenarios are still very much avoidable. And we know that they are. We just need to collectively realize that they are and put in the work to avoid them. The biggest issue is, one way or another, politics tends to lag like 20 years behind. Which is why we're only now starting to see some level of action when we should have started with that 20 years ago. Probably more, yeah. But you get the idea. Yeah, that's a perfect example of how politics can take a very long time to run its course. Yeah, we are very slow. Also, oftentimes in politics, and this is luckily not true for everyone, but it is true for more politicians than I would like, they do something because of trying to win votes rather than because it is the right thing to do. I mean, the science has been telling us that we need to do something drastic on this for quite a while. And if anything, the pandemic has shown us that if we have a crisis, we can invest money. Like, we have the means to do so. Like, suddenly, when there is a crisis, we can have money available for it. There are others that are even slower, but like I said, I think we should look inward, not outward with these sort of things. And first look at ourselves before we start looking at others, because if we don't do it, like, if otherwise we just get it, and this is a game I see a lot in online discussions about this, where it becomes a game of, well, if they don't do it, we won't do it. If China doesn't do this, then we shouldn't either. That's the wrong argument. Now, one very positive thing that the EU recently did is setting up sort of a carbon tax, i.e. importing goods from high pollution places gets taxed as a result of them being from high pollution places, and in an attempt to push more people to consider that in their purchase. And additionally, within Europe, companies paying more in actual carbon tax, so to speak. It's not directly called that, but it is basically that. And that's a huge first step. Plus the entire Green Deal that was announced like 2 weeks ago by the EU Parliament. That's a huge step. Additionally, when you see the US's or Biden's proposal on reducing climate change, you see China's plans on reducing pollution. Like, there's definitely steps being made. I just like them to be a lot faster. And admittedly, the media doesn't always portray them as fair as they should. Because this is a necessary evil in many ways. I know a lot of people aren't going to like a lot of things in those plans, but a lot of it is going to be necessary. Plus, I'd like it to be less words and more action, but that's just a thing in general. Alright, this is going to take a while, but we are coming up on the final boss of this game. Oh, first we need to beat another Bidoof from Totally Not Evil Creepy Green-Haired Dude. There we go. That was Totally Not Evil Creepy Green-Haired Dude's Pokemon. Well, the other part of that, Haita, that I very much feel is a thing that not everyone understands. A lot of green politicians and activists have plans that are way out beyond what's realistic. But the thing with politics is you need to be able to give something. So I always take that with a bit of grain of salt, because the way I think of it, at least, is if you start here, if you set the bar here, this is what we want to do. In terms of green plants, and you end like down here somewhere, you'll have still achieved the necessary amount. Whereas if you start here and you end even lower, that can be a problem. That's how I see that, at least. So while I don't disagree with you, I'm also not entirely in agreement with that. Like, no, we're not going to ban all fossil cars within half a year. That's not going to happen. The economy as we know it would collapse entirely, but, you know, that can be a stepping stone to go to, but what if we can, you know, end fossil car usage by 2030, you know, give us 10 years or to transition to electric. That's just an example, of course, but I think that kind of hopefully takes down the point that takes home the point that I was trying to make there. Like, I know a lot of the plans that the Green Party here has are way too ambitious to ever realistically happen, but that's not going to dissuade me from the fact that, you know, they have plans, and, you know, if they can negotiate them into real action, even if they're less than what they are now, that's still a lot more action. I know electric cars are still not green if when the energy itself isn't green. I am very much aware of that. It's part of the reason why I don't drive electric yet. Also, the cost of the cars are still too expensive right now. But yes, switching to electric vehicles make the Swift from fossil fuels to electric much easier. So it is a necessary step in that process. Because, you know, if demand for electricity goes up, that also by extension means you can look more into electricity production. And this is not just in completely, especially over the next, like, decade. I'm not just talking about, like, renewable sources, But one thing that I think, at least here in Europe, is worth looking into more is also nuclear sources. While they are not sustainable in the long run, they can help us big time in transitioning. And it is, at this point, one of the safest methods and one of the cleanest methods of producing a lot of power quick. I know nuclear has a bit of a nasty aftertaste for a lot of people, but because it's kind of like, the downside is it is kind of expensive and it does have a risk, even though at this point that risk is insanely small. I've been against nuclear in the past as well, but when you try to look at it objectively, like there have only been a handful of really big nuclear disasters, and all of those can be led back to situations that should never ever happen anymore. Not with the increase in technology, not with the situations. I mean, the last big nuclear disaster that we all heard about, Fukushima, I mean, that required one of the heaviest earthquakes we've ever measured. I think it was like the 4th heaviest earthquake we've ever measured. So, you know, it's not really a comparable example to the Netherlands, where we rarely have earthquakes in general. The nuclear waste, while true, can be stored much more effectively. And yes, it is waste that you will never get rid of. But comparable to all the waste that we are pushing into the air, we're never getting rid of that either. Where, while nuclear waste itself can be stored very effectively, very safely, yeah, it is a lot nicer than traditional fuel waste, no doubts about it. Like, the amount of waste that you get to produce all of the power needed for a household for a year is about that size. Not even kidding, it's about that size. A ball of about that size. That is all of the waste. While that is waste that will not go away, it is relatively small. It is easily stored. Yeah, it's about the size of an apple. It is easily stored, a relatively small apple at that. It is easily storable. It is, you know, that sort of stuff also very, and that's stuff you don't have with fossil fuels. Adding forest, fantastic thing, absolutely. I mean, same here. I pay extra for all of my power to be green, or at very worst, like compensated for, which is a start, but you know, at this point we don't produce enough to do that for everyone. That's the problem. That's also why I'm making the point of, you know, outside of durable sources, we should probably also just look into nuclear. Sure, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it can help us in that transition, because otherwise there's just currently not enough power to go around for everyone. I just realized I'm going into the final boss at 48 HP, and that's a little scary. We're gonna have to play this fight very safe. Anyway, rant over. I'm sorry for the rant there, but I'm kind of passionate about power and energy sources, and you know, this is kind of part of my job, talking about this and discussing this, and yes, they could. Shiki, they could. Absolutely. I think there's a huge project by, I want to say Morocco, who's trying to, over the next couple of years, build a power source in the Sahara Desert, a solar power source that would basically power the entire country. which I found hugely interesting. Sorry, it's a little bit of a side tangent, but yeah, I just found that hugely interesting. Okay, this fight's just wait. Oh, by the way, Jenny, I've probably found somebody to look after the cats for me. That's fair, Frost. That is fair. Yes, also what Bob says. Thank you for adding to my point. Yeah, I know they're one of the very few countries that's actually meeting their goals. I found that project hugely interesting when I heard about it. I mean, they have a relatively easy position to do something huge like that, but it could certainly work for a lot more places and be scaled up for a lot more places. And honestly, I wish there'd be more scientists involved into, doing the work on this instead of it being a mostly political chat. Oh, we do get healed to full before this. I didn't realize. Cool. That's a lot better. Okay, I'm going to go full focus for a few minutes because this fight is hard. This is the final boss of the game. I know Darkrai isn't that hard, but I have absolutely died there before. But we won. We're good. We got Darkrai. Okay, a couple minutes of cutscenes and then we're gonna run some ads and switch to Pokepark. Sure thing, Birna. Yeah, that's fair. I understand that. All right. Somebody to watch my cats after the series race has been arranged. At least I now know I don't have to worry about that anymore. They agreed so long as the cats don't, you know, climb in the curtains or scratch the couch or whatnot, which I've not seen these two do. Yeah, they would take the cats. Like, it's just a few streets down. That seems to be easier. Yeah, Hood's gonna take them. Which is a huge relief, honestly. At least I'll know they're in good care while I'm away. Like, they're pretty old, so they tend to just sleep most of the day. But it's still good to have somebody to watch them. I'm sorry, Weech. We've already finished this game, haven't we? Yeah, pretty sure time has already happened. We're already like halfway in the credits, so yeah, I'm sure I'm sure it'll be okay. And his girlfriend's had cats before, so cool. Okay, I'm gonna set up Pokepark. I'm gonna run some ads in the meantime, so we'll be back in about 3 minutes ish with Pokepark 2.